Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to do a reading for the current energies right now. I think it's going to be one of those readings where I have no idea what I'm saying as it comes through, because my daughter's here with me this week, and both of us, it's like we just think we feel the energy to be so odd and so hard to pinpoint, and kind of like a whirlwind, kind of like twirling. It's like, okay, so I can't even find words for it. So we decided that I would just do a reading and see what came through. So if you're also kind of feeling this sort of strange energy that you can't put words to, that's making you uncomfortable, maybe we can figure something out today, just to bring some peace and clarity, that kind of thing. So I'm going to pull an overall energy. Oh, okay. Well, that's cool. Grasshopper spirit, take a leap of faith. Okay, because it's interesting, this jump, because like in the last video that I did, I was talking about those dreams that I had and those things that, just kind of like clarities that were coming through, where I really feel that humanity actually has taken a jump, like we've leaped, like when I was talking about how I felt like I got pulled into that current of that higher timeline. I feel that has happened, and what's so strange about the energy right now is it just feels really weird, and like things like, as an example, my daughter and I went out to eat last night, and I left my phone in the car, which I never ever do, but also it was like nighttime, and I never really go out to eat anyway, because, I just don't really do that. And, so all these kind of strange things that make you feel like you're kind of swirling around. But another thing that I've been saying a lot in the readings lately is we often think that we feel weird because of what's going on in the external, but the external is really just reflection and a manifestation of what the energy is doing. Okay, so if you look at your life, you might see oh yeah, this and this and this and this. What is that saying about the energy? So that's how we're kind of reading it. And then I lost a ring or something like that. I just don't know where it went. It fell into the and then she lost her. Just all this kind of weird stuff kind of disappearing. You don't know where it is. You can't find it, and then there it is. And just stuff leaving. The other thing that's going on in our hologram, and I'm just giving these examples just to kind of illuminate, to look at your own life and read those patterns and signs if you feel inspired to. But I'm getting rid of stuff. I got rid of a bunch of plants that didn't make it when I was away so much during the summer, and I was trying to give them a chance to come around, and they weren't, so just clearing stuff out of closets, stuff that I've been needing to get rid of for years, and all of it landing now. So kind of this reflection and hologram of getting stuff out that isn't matching, that isn't, making it, but yet, again, it's we've done this jump, we have done this jump, but right now the energy just kind of feels like a whirlwind. So my daughter and I, we do energy sessions on each other, and she has her way and I have my way, but we both we're getting a lot of the same information, with that whirlwind type of energy, where things were just kind of rearranging. But the other message was this, again, this take a leap of faith, this sort of trust energy, where there is this precision that's going on. So this is helping me to talk about it. I'm getting clarity, but this precision where it's this exact, and I talk about this a lot too, the cogs of the wheel, where everything has to come into place. So it's things coming into place in a way, things leaving, things coming in, things reappearing. Maybe when they come back, they're different than they were before, this type of thing. The analogy of that, but just everything getting into place, but it can feel really gross. It can feel really confusing, and you're I know this forward movement energy is here with us, but it just feels weird right now. So let's get some cards and see what else wants to be said about that. If it wants to clarify anything that I said, anything that her and I have been feeling. Okay, Five of Air. Yeah, this is kind of the energy, how I'm feeling it. The Five of Air can be a card of feeling that it can be a spiraling energy, an energy of panic, where you feel like you might be losing something, you might get hurt. Oh, it's funny, because she was seeing this spiral, this penny kind of going down this spiral. I don't think the energy of it for her was this, but was what I was doing, for the spiraling, where you kind of feel like you might be getting hurt, or somebody else might get hurt, or it's just that defensive kind of thing where you're fractured. It can I feel like this energy can kind of send us into a little bit of a fractured type of energy, where you can just get kind of nervous, where you feel like something's going wrong or something bad is going to happen. Okay, so if if you're relating to that. I sure am. I know it's not true because this is the predominant energy, and this was so strong, you know, when that shift happened, that it's like just to have faith and know that this is just part of the process, this kind of like funky spiral, rearranging, losing, slipping down the slide, and you're like, where am I going? You know, where am I going? Because it doesn't feel like I'm going where I thought I was going. Okay, we're hanging in there. All right, so what else? Oh, this card. I keep getting this card. Wow, it's so amazing. Okay, so this card to me, and I've talked about this before in other readings, but I'm going to definitely repeat myself. This card to me, and the way it's presenting, especially right now, is like, this is like the original dream, like the original energy that you, sorry, my mind's going in a bunch of different directions. I'm thinking of all these different things, but it's like, this is the original you, okay? This is what you came in knowing that you were here for, like when you were younger or in quiet moments, that like that inner knowing of like who you are and what you're about and who you're for, but you could never really find a match to it in the world, you know, because the world kind of looked like this kind of fragmented thing. So it's not like this ever left you, but it's like you could never really live it, you know, fully in the world, you know, it just wasn't possible, you know, and oh God, and that's what was coming up in both of the sessions for her and I recently, is like there's this cap, like you have this original thing, whether it's a gift or a knowing or just like a vision, a knowing of what life is to be, but it had like it wasn't time yet, and you couldn't let the full expression of yourself come out because the world was too much like this, like it would cause too much disturbance, either for you, which is kind of what this energy is about too. It will either hurt you or it will hurt another. Like for a while that was kind of true of like, we couldn't make this jump yet, we couldn't make it because it wasn't time. Again, okay, so that's what I was talking about, like the cogs of the wheel, that precision, where things have to come into this like exact alignment, and until they do, it's just like, this is kind of presenting as a like, it's not quite time yet, it's not quite time, but it's almost like it is time now, but there's still, because before we really had to like put a cap on these things. We had all this, but we had to sort of put it aside for a while. We put it aside for so long that we kind of gave up on it. We kind of thought, oh, I guess that's just not possible, so I'll just explore that and feel this in the ways that I can, you know, when I'm by myself or when I'm in nature, or when I'm on some kind of like, you know, psychedelic experience or whatever, you know, I'll just have that where I can have it, and I won't expect it to go any further, you know. But it's like, so now is the time for this, because again, we have done this jump, but there's like a more superficial level of this where it's like there's still some precision, there's still some things that need to like turning of the wheel, but that we absolutely are coming into this original, I can't find the words for it. I hope that you can just sort of like get on my brainwave. It's like, it's the truth, right? It's the truth of what we always knew ourselves and life, and the way we experienced life, and what we manifested into our lives and how we lived and all that. It's like we always kind of knew that's what life was for, but it's like, well, why is it so shitty then? You know, why is that? Because it wasn't time. So this was capped, and now that cap is off, but there's still a bit that's being worked out, and that's sort of the confusing part, I think, for us, you know, because it feels like we're going backwards, but again, it feels like a more superficial layer. So the thing that this one came out with was the Messenger of Cups, and this is a card of let me look at this a minute and feel into what this card is saying right now today. Yeah, it's almost like a private conversation with yourself, because this can be a card of like self-love, where because you love yourself, because you're in such union with yourself, your outer hologram starts to reflect that, because you're in such you know, inner communion with yourself. So I feel this kind of goes with the take a leap of faith, where it's like lean into that inner part of you, because again, this came out with this card, you know, it's like a seahorse is like this, like you're having a conversation with your inner unicorn, and you're like, I see you, I know that we're doing this, I already got the message, I already got that like blast wave of energy that has like hooked me up to you, and there's no way I'm letting go. There's no way I'm letting go of what I was shown, of what I feel, of what are you catching this wave? Even if the energy kind of feels and looks like this right now, like I am with you. And so I feel like that's kind of why these two came out together. Even though this is going on, you know, we're here, you know, and perhaps a bit of guidance too, you know, like we're here having this conversation with our with that inner self, with that original self, with that self that is birthing now, with that self that has already been told it's time, you know, like have a leap of faith, like don't lose that connection, even though it looks like this right now. Okay, so let's do some more. That's too many cards. That's a lot of cards. I'm not gonna take all those. Okay, so yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So we get the ten of wands and the death card. Okay, the death and rebirth card. It's a 13 card. That's that divine feminine card. That's like the mud and blood. When you're in those kind of like darker moments where everything's dissolving, you know, you feel like you're you know, the penny going down the But see, that's the thing. It's like, well, that was what her vision was. It was a penny going down the thing, but then the penny gets transformed, doesn't it, into this whole other penny. It becomes this other thing. It becomes this like work of art that represents the symbol of whatever museum you're visiting, or whatever aquarium, you know, has an otter on it or something. But it just started as a penny, and it's got to go down that spiral. It's got to go down that spiral. When you're going down that spiral, you might start to kind of panic and be like, wait, what's happening? I think I'm losing everything. Well, that's the death. That's the death energy, okay? And the Ten of Wands is like, it's the end of the road, you know? It's like you've already done the trials and you're at the end of the road and you're about to go home. But it's like you kind of have to like lay down your burden, you know? It's another sort of like closure, but also death card, okay? Where things are dissolving. They're dissolving. You're laying something down. But in order to lay something down, you kind of have to lay everything down. And that's sort of what I was feeling earlier, where it's like we did this jump and we got onto this like whole new level. Like we up leveled. We did like a quantum jump. We were on this whole other frequency. And now everything's kind of dissolving again. Because you know how that happens. You like reach a certain peak and then everything has to like fall apart again and then reform. And I think that's kind of what's going on. But I love that the penny analogy came up, because it really is like that. It's being reformed into something completely different. It has a completely different signature. And that's what I was seeing with her. It was like I was seeing this weird like symbol. It was like a symbol that was showing like there's so much intricacy that you can't really read it. You can't really read what the intricacy is. You can't really read the symbol. You can't really read it. But the point was that there's a lot going on right now. And that it's important, and the precision's important. So again, it's like that penny becoming something else, and that journey to it becoming something else is kind of unknown, and it feels a little out of control. And that's how the death and the rebirth always feels, because it's a death and it's a dissolving. But this is just showing that, like, yeah, we're ready for that. We're at the end of the road. We're literally at the end of the road, because it's time for this. It's time for that original. It's time for that rebirth into what we've been waiting for, but sort of gave up on because we thought it wasn't possible. But it is possible, and it's possible now. And there's just another one of these. And I'm assuming that this is a collective energy, at least for those of us that are kind of going through the same thing at the same time. Because first I thought it was just me. You know, again, I was looking at the outer circumstances and, oh, I'm disoriented because of this and this and this and this. But then it turns out my daughter was feeling the same way. Without any real reasons. And so we realized, like, yeah, this is an energy. So that's, you know, coming on here to find clarity, but also to provide support and clarity for others, because it's a kind of uncomfortable energy. Okay, so the rebirth, of course, it's feeling like that. So but I feel that there's more, and let's see if we can get more. I have something in my eye. Let's see if we can get more information. Okay. So we get the Lovers, so that's pretty reassuring. Have a leap of faith. This is where we're going. What's on the other side of this rebirth that kind of makes us feel like we're falling down some spiral into who knows where? But here's this reassurance. Have a leap of faith. The Lovers coming back into, oh my God, my eye. Coming back into, this unity. Here it is again. This unity with ourselves. This unity with ourselves that literally changes our hologram. So it's like we know that we've up-leveled to this degree of mastery and unification within ourselves that we've never had before. We've never had this kind of unity. We've never had this kind of inner dialogue with those hidden parts of ourselves. It's never been so close to us. It's never been so accessible, okay? And we can trust that. We can trust that what's on the other side of what you know feels like this. I don't have to keep going on and on about it. If you're feeling it, you know exactly what it feels like. It's so funny that my eye just, hold on a sec. Okay. I got it. Good. Okay, that this is what's on the other side. This is just the most wonderful card. This is the manifestation, the outer manifestation of the inner union within us. So our lives starting to match, the deepest truths of what we know about ourselves. So that's beautiful. Okay, I'm going to move into, how long did I talk for? I might keep this kind of short, but we'll see. I'm going to use my new, okay. Oh, that's great. Okay, so this is a reassurance. This is a reassurance reading. So we get the Three of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. So the Three of Wands is very much for me like you're on the right track. You're moving forward. Like what you've wanted. So like the Two of Wands is like that spark of like, this is what I want. Like the Seven of Wands. This is what I've always wanted. This is what I identify as my deepest alignment. Again, the alignment. Even though it can be more rather than like something that we are conscious of wanting. It's more like a feeling. Like we know that life's supposed to feel like this. We know that relationships are supposed to feel like this. We know that our the way we feel in our bodies and in our homes and in our souls is supposed to feel like this, right? That's that original desire. That's the Two of Wands. The wanting, the Three of Wands is like it's in motion, it's guided, it's taken care of, and it's coming out. Look at these cards. They're so wonderful. It's a little bit blurry, but look at her. She's just so in her element. This is somebody that feels good in her body. Like what I was just saying. This is somebody that feels good in her soul. This is somebody that feels good in her life. Everything feels exactly as it's supposed to feel. Just like this. It's really wonderful how the cards are really matching what I'm saying. It's really reassuring. So it's just letting us know we're absolutely right on track. Nothing's wrong, even though it feels kind of wrong and wonky. We're okay. We're still going here. We're still doing this. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm gonna pull one from this other deck that I found, this Oracle deck. Secret Language of Light, I think it's called. We get 2 cards. Oh, interesting. Okay, there is only light. There's only light. So that's that reminder again, no matter what it looks like, there's only light. Everything is in service to the light. Everything is taking us exactly where we need to go. It comes out with the Divine Masculine, which is really interesting. That's a 32 card. That's a change card. So, the Divine Masculine, that is our action. That is sort of the outer expression. If this is the inner expression, if this is the what we've held in our, sort of like Divine Feminine aspect, where we've held on to the inner knowing of that which we are for, that which is the fabric of who we are, and we've kind of had to keep it hidden because it wasn't the right time, and, we had to have a cap on it because, the deeper sort of like long-standing interpretation of this card that I had mentioned earlier, where it's like, it might cause harm to you or others, so it isn't time yet. Okay, yeah, this is really cool. It's like the Divine Masculine energy is when we get to bring that out, when we get to join that, we get to meet that, and we get to say yes to that because it's actually time, and we get to, okay, so there's that union too. Wow, there's the union, the lovers. So here's the Divine Feminine energy that always kind of had to keep hidden because it wasn't safe. I mean, you think about like the times, the witch trials when the Divine Feminine expression was burned, whether you're a man or a woman, the Druids, it's like if you had magical access, no, not allowed, it had to be capped. And then, the priestesses that had to be hidden and kept on an island, and whatever it was, you had to be kept away. You preserved the knowledge, you held it deep inside, you held that inner language, that inner communion, you held onto it, and you held onto it, and you held onto it through lifetime and lifetime and lifetime. Okay, so this is the energy that I was feeling last week, where it was that jump, that timeline split, where the lower energy had, it just didn't have the same hold, like that dream I was talking about with the 2 sons, with the guard that just he didn't have he didn't have any life in him anymore. It's like, we were on the other side. We were on the other side and starting to build. Okay, so on the other side and starting to build. What was I saying? Okay, yeah, we've made that jump where it's like this kind of stuff can come out now. That's the Divine Masculine energy, where it's like taking into action, being met with the builder of the template on the physical plane. So that is the Queen of Pentacles again, where we're manifesting, we're bringing it down. It doesn't have to be hidden anymore. It's coming out. It's coming out. Again, there is only light. Okay, so what I want to know, we get it, it's telling us, like, it's all good. It's all good. It's beautiful. I love it. Brought up that message of the Divine Masculine. But what I want to know, and I don't know if it's important, and this might be me just being in this energy, but I want to know, like, what are we doing? I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter. Like, obviously, we're doing some sort of like purging, some rearranging, something, but I just want to get a little bit more clarification about this energy in particular. So, I think I'm staring at the Angels of Atlantis deck. I'm going to pull from there. What do you have to tell us? Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, God. Hold on a sec. Okay. So I am presence. This is Michael. I am presence. There's May. Ecstasy. Yeah. And gratitude. Okay. So I am presence, ecstasy, gratitude. All right. It's just saying like, it's just saying in response to this, whatever this is in your life right now, whatever that weird feeling is, or the funky, weird, like, whirlwind of events or strange, whether it's manifesting as events or just strange energies, it's coming from our higher selves. It's coming from, again, that deeper part of us. It's total higher self guided, and to be grateful for it, and to try to be, because when we have gratitude, and this is what I was talking about in that one where it was that message, it wasn't a reading, it was just that message about like support for the dark night of the soul and those threshold moments. It's like just have gratitude for it. The way to move through it quicker, like I was saying, is to have to just have gratitude. But gratitude can turn into ecstasy when we're dealing with like higher energies, our higher selves and higher energies, and even if they're presenting like this, because that high frequency energy will kick stuff up and it will kind of like turn the wheel and get things going. You can be like, whoa, you're kind of caught in the washer, you're kind of caught in the whirlwind. But it's still divine energy. It's still divine energy. So when we're not in resistance and we're not kind of like worrying about our safety or worrying, it's almost like it doesn't matter what this is. Just trust that it's good. And when you get into that space of gratitude, it can start to feel like ecstasy, and you can shift into this excitement, and you can shift into a higher frequency, which will move it faster. So, it's funny how sometimes the cards is like you want to know a certain thing, and they're like, no, that's just like too dense of a question. So we're going to redirect you higher. Like, let's go even higher, okay, that's what we're going to do. We're just going to have gratitude, and we're going to allow that to pull us into ecstasy, and we're going to just move through whatever this strange energy is and whatever this crunch is, knowing that it's absolutely higher self-guided, and that there is only light. 22 minutes, 22:22. I love that number. That's a master builder number. And the twos for me are like, if the threes are like, hey, you're on path, you're solidly on the path, it's guided, everything's moving forward, kind of like what I was saying about the two of wands, because I was, but the twos, the 2222 is like, okay, so you've clicked in. It's funny because I started this reading, when I started setting everything up, it was 111, which I thought was really cool. It was like, okay, here's the new beginning, and then the twos, that's the one, and then the twos are when it like clicks in and there's this momentum, but it can be kind of cloudy and unclear, where you don't really know. It's like kind of the formless, it's like this, you don't really know what's going on. What was the symbol of the formless, the kind of like unseen? I don't know where that was. I feel like maybe that was a conversation that Amy and I were having earlier. But again, it was like the dissolving, the death energy, where it's like everything kind of dissolves and you don't know what's going on, okay? But that's part of the foundation. That's part of what needs to happen to stabilize, to bring you higher. So, okay, I think I'm going to stop there, but I am going to pull a goddess card in closing and just see if there's anything else that wants to be said, and or any last final message. It's probably just going to be like, you are so loved. Just hang in there. It's pretty much what the whole reading was. Okay. Devotion. Yeah, and adaptability. Okay, so that's the same thing. It's like, so this. Stay in that constant dialogue. Stay in that internal dialogue with your divine feminine energy, with that inner knowing that you have. Stay in devotion. Stay in, like prayer in a sense, but stay focused. Stay focused on what's true. Don't focus on the rearrange. Even when I wanted to ask more about the rearrange, it was like, that's not where we're looking. We're looking to gratitude. We're looking to the higher. So it's like stay focused on this I am present. Stay focused on the divine feminine energy, and know that this kind of union, this inner union is happening, where this is all being brought out, and you can trust the process. It comes out with adaptability. So, you know, and that's a 1 card. Yeah, it's like, you know, we're making a move, and we're in new terrain, and you just kind of have to roll with it and trust and embrace all of it no matter what it looks like. Because I really do feel that we're just in such new territory that might be part of what this is too, if it's just an energetic thing where you're kind of just like, it's just really new. It's really new. And I think at the same time, just like how I was talking about, like moving out the plants that weren't thriving and moving out the stuff from the closet from like 10 years ago, you know, it's like, it's just, there's stuff leaving. It can't stay anymore. Now that it's time, and we're coming into this, which we really are. This reading is really showing that, okay? You know, we're really coming into this original, and again, the divine marriage of the masculine and the feminine energies moving us forward, and there's just this bit of a dissolving into that. And so we're just going to hang in there, and we're going to move through this, and maybe this is just a me and Arame thing, but that's what we're feeling. So if you're feeling it too, I hope it was helpful to you, and please let me know if you are, because it's always nice to know that it's like a group movement, and that we're all kind of doing this together. And when we put our attention on these energies and we come into that gratitude, and it can lead into ecstasy together, where it's like, okay, this is a movement, we're not alone, we're doing this together. This is a soul mission. That was another thing that she was seeing in me in the energy session, was like, in my heart there was just this, it was like all the people that I'm working with, like on a soul level, like my soul group that I came in working with, that are also working with me, whether we know it or not, just behind the scenes. And that kind of reminds me of the sun dream. If you watch that video, the part one about support from our galactics, I was talking about this dream where the 2 suns rose, and the whole soul family knew to go into this, it wasn't a pavilion, I said pavilion, but it was an auditorium. We went into this auditorium together, and we all knew to go in at the same time, okay? So it's like when we kind of commune over these energies, especially the ones that don't feel so good, and we get that higher message, we can realize that this is part of a group movement that we're doing together. And as we put our attention on it together, it can really lead into this feeling of gratitude and ecstasy, because it's like, oh, we're not alone. We're doing this together. We have so much support in the telepathic network. In fact, that's what I felt really guided to do, another read a video, not a reading, just kind of like a video on that telepathic network, and like the swapping of files and codes with others, and accessing our higher aspects. So I'm probably going to do that next week. Also, I am doing personal readings. If you're interested in that, you can message me on Lineage of the Blue Rose Tarot Facebook page, or on the Wendy Biondo personal page if you're on Facebook. And we're friends already. And so anyway, I hope that was helpful to you. And if it was, then just know you're not alone, and we're doing this together. And it's just this beautiful grand movement, this beautiful time of leaping, where we finally get to bring that divine feminine wisdom and knowing and sacred mysteries that we've been holding on to lifetime throughout lifetime, having it met with the divine masculine energy within ourselves, coming into that sacred union, and anchoring it onto the earth, in service to all, as a soul group, in service, okay? And right now we're going through another death. You know, we've done this before. So, okay, much love to you, and I will see you next time if I do.